Охуеть!
On the night of November 14th, the sky above Novorossiysk erupted so violently that the horizon over the Black Sea seemed to flash like a distant battlefield. Flames roared upward in towering columns, turning the normally calm coastline into a wall of fire and smoke. Within minutes, the Sheskharis oil transshipment hub, one of the largest facilities in southern Russia, was consumed by a blaze so intense that emergency crews struggled to approach. Oil tanks glowed red, pipelines burst open, and sections of the pumping network collapsed. The port, capable of moving hundreds of thousands of barrels of crude per day, was forced to shut down entirely. Russia's most important Black Sea oil artery had been forced offline in a single night. And it happened because Ukrainian forces found a way through a defensive system Moscow had long portrayed as untouchable. But to understand how Ukraine reached the point of setting fire to a critical oil terminal, destroying multiple S-400 systems, and exposing vulnerabilities in one of Russia's most heavily fortified coastal regions, the story needs to rewind. This moment was not created overnight. It was the culmination of months of strategic pressure. Russia once saw the Black Sea as a demonstration platform for its naval power, an area where the Black Sea Fleet could operate freely, threaten Ukrainian ports, and project strength. Instead, the opposite happened. Ukrainian missiles and long-range drones tore through Russian ships for months, destroying roughly a third of the fleet. Key warships were sunk, others forced to retreat, and Russia found itself unable to safely operate even inside its own harbors. In November 2025, Ukraine's persistent attacks forced Russia to pull major assets away from Crimea and reposition them deeper into the Black Sea. Even that wasn't enough. The gaps Ukraine opened extended straight toward Novorossiysk. Once those gaps appeared, Ukraine built an operation designed to exploit them and expose weaknesses in Russia's coastal defense network. On November 14th, that operation came together. A source speaking to the Kyiv Post described a coordinated strike involving multiple elite Ukrainian units. Operators from the Security Service of Ukraine's Alpha Group worked alongside the main Directorate of Intelligence, the State Border Guard Service, Special Operations Forces, and Naval Artillery teams. Each group had a designated role in the attack sequence, from surveillance to targeting to executing the drone and missile barrage. This was not a spontaneous raid, it was a planned assault with clearly defined roles. That night, Ukraine launched a combination of drones and Neptune missiles at Novorossiysk. Reuters confirmed the use of the Neptune system, a weapon Ukraine has refined and adapted throughout the war. The target was the port operated by Transneft, the Russian state pipeline company responsible for moving vast quantities of oil into and out of the country. Novorossiysk is a key hub in Russia's oil logistics and a symbol of economic resilience. Ukraine made it clear that the port was no longer safe. Russia's confirmation came faster than usual. The Krasnodar region's emergency headquarters posted on Telegram. In Novorossiysk, an oil depot at the Sheskharis transshipment complex was damaged as a result of a drone attack by the Kyiv regime. Onshore facilities were also damaged. The message ended with, "Efforts to repel the drone attack are ongoing." Those efforts did not prevent serious damage. Almost immediately, photographs and video clips began circulating on pro-Ukrainian and neutral Telegram channels. Exilanova Plus shared 4 images showing massive fires engulfing parts of the facility. A 40-second video captured rolling smoke that billowed upward as flames lit the sky beneath it. These images make Russia's familiar drone debris claims difficult to sustain. Fires of that magnitude do not come from falling fragments. They come from direct hits on industrial infrastructure. The Sheskharis facility, constructed in 1964, is a major part of Russia's oil export network. It handles both crude and refined products, and includes 30 large oil tanks with a combined capacity of 820,000 cubic meters. It also contains multiple specialized reservoirs for various types of fuel oil. According to Reuters, the terminal shipped around 761,000 barrels of oil per day in October, which analysts often estimate at roughly 3.2 million tons per month. Broader estimates suggest Novorossiysk handles more than 2 million barrels per day when Kazakh oil shipments passing through Russia are included. Those numbers show why this strike mattered. It was not symbolic, it was strategic. With the terminal burning, the port stopped moving oil entirely. Authorities also reported that a vessel in the port may have been hit, injuring 3 crew members who were hospitalized. It remains unclear whether the ship was civilian or a Shadow Fleet tanker used to help Russia bypass sanctions. If it was part of the Shadow Fleet, Ukraine would consider it a legitimate military target. Russia further claimed that debris from destroyed drones hit several apartment buildings, injuring 1 man and damaging windows. None of these claims have been independently confirmed. The confirmed outcome was the complete shutdown of the oil terminal. On any other night, this alone would have been a major Ukrainian success. But November 14th was worse for Russia than a burning oil hub. Ukraine also destroyed several of Russia's most advanced air defense systems in the region, and this part of the strike was executed with equal precision. The Kyiv Post reported that Ukraine used openings in Novorossiysk's defensive layout to hit multiple S-400 systems and the radars that support them. Exiler Nova Plus released satellite photos taken on November 11th and November 15th, showing the extent of the damage. Their analysis stated, "The CSO Alpha successfully destroyed 4 launchers of the S-400 Triumph air defense system located on the territory of the 1537th Anti-Aircraft Missile Regiment." They added that roughly 12 S-400 launchers were at the site, and that there is a high probability that most of them were also damaged. If that assessment is correct, Russia may have lost roughly a third to half of its S-400 launchers in the region. The cost of this loss is enormous. One S-400 system costs about $500 million, according to CNBC. 4 destroyed systems equal $2 billion gone in a single night, not counting the cost of the damaged systems or the support radars Ukraine also hit. Understanding the impact requires understanding the system. The S-400 is considered one of the world's most capable air defense platforms. Missile Threat describes it as able to engage aircraft, ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and drones at ranges up to 400 kilometers. It can hit targets flying up to 30 kilometers, 18.6 miles high, and track 36 targets at once. Its 2 missile types, the 48 N6 fragmentation warhead and the 77 N6 hit-to-kill interceptor, both weigh 143 kilograms, 315 pounds. Army technology adds that the system was designed specifically to defeat complex aerial threats, exactly the type Ukraine launched on November 14th. So why did it fail? Retired Australian Major General Mick Ryan explained the answer long before this strike. In a 2024 interview, he said, "The way you take down these highly capable systems is you take a systems approach. It's not just fire a weapon against it. You've got to unpick all the things that defend it, whether it's sensors or other weapon systems." Ukraine did exactly that. They started by targeting the radars. The 96 N6 cheeseboard early warning radar, designated 96L6 by some sources, is integral to detecting approaching threats. It uses a phased array antenna with 96 radiating rows and employs frequency hopping to resist jamming. It can track up to 100 targets at once and detect threats from 580 kilometers away, with upgraded versions reaching 700 kilometers. The 92 N6 Gravestone target acquisition radar is equally vital. Army Recognition describes it as responsible for guiding interceptors against a wide range of airborne threats. It also tracks 100 targets, has 360 degrees coverage, and operates at ranges from 250 to 480 kilometers, depending on the variant. Mounted on a wheeled chassis, it moves wherever the S-400 battery goes. With both radars out of action, Russia's S-400S were effectively blind. They could fire, but they could not track accurately. That was the moment Ukraine exploited. More drones arrived, flying at low altitude and exploiting gaps that long-range radars struggle to cover. Several drones struck the launchers directly, destroying them outright. While Russia claimed it shot down 66 Ukrainian drones over Krasnodar and 59 over the Black Sea, those numbers did not prevent Ukraine from hitting its priority targets. Ukraine hit every priority target it intended to. The Sheskharis terminal, the cheeseboard radar, the Gravestone radar, and at least 4 S-400 launchers. After 2 days, Transneft resumed operations, but Reuters reported that the terminal was loading only 2 tankers, far below its normal capacity. Some berths remain offline. The financial impact of the shutdown is measurable. With 761,000 barrels per day of capacity, a 2-day halt means 1.522 million barrels of oil delayed. If the Kyiv Independent's estimate of more than 2 million barrels per day is used, the halt could equal 4 million barrels of delayed shipments, for a country whose customers, including major Chinese refiners, were already shifting to other suppliers. This kind of instability risks accelerating that shift. For Russia, November 14th delivered overlapping crises: a burning oil terminal, a halt in oil flow, destroyed radar systems, at least $2 billion in air defense losses, and a compromised defensive zone on the Black Sea. And this strike came just days after Ukraine used Flamingo missiles in another major operation. Ukraine has demonstrated a repeatable method: blind Russia's sensors, overwhelm its defenses with low-altitude drones, and strike high-value assets once the shield collapses. As Novorossiysk struggles to return to full capacity, and Russia attempts to repair what it can, one question grows more urgent. If Russia cannot defend its most important Black Sea oil lifeline with S-400S and the radars designed to protect them, what happens when Ukraine repeats this method on other critical sites? How many similar vulnerabilities along Russia's coastline are still waiting to be exposed? Let us know your thoughts on comment section.